Okay, good afternoon everybody. In our next video installment, our next video tutorial, we're going to be talking today a little bit about developing staccato, a staccato tone, and also working on developing our finger technique a little bit too. In the last video, we talked about Bidon's early light and legato style and using air for long sustained sound. And now here we're going to develop our style to work on a little bit of tonguing style and faster fingers, okay, a staccato tone. The air that you use in your Bidon's early light, that connected big air, is the same air that you want to use in tonguing quickly, okay? It's the same kind of air stream. Remember that each time we tongue, I'm using clarinet as an example today, but this works for trumpets, for tubas, for French horns, flutes, everybody's the same. Each time our tongue strikes the reed or on our brass instruments, when the tongue comes forward and shuts off the sound, the instant that your tongue pops back is when you need that sound to start, when you really want to tongue fast. So if you want the reed to speak really fast, or you want your sound on trumpet or French horn to speak really fast, you need good, solid, connected air behind it to make that happen. So as we articulate faster, a really solid airstream or a big connected airstream is what's really going to make that happen. Okay? So what I'm going to use today, we'll all be playing for our audition and for the beginning of the year, we're all playing advanced scales. Okay? And the scales are basically like the scales we already know. We're just adding a little bit at the top of the scale. I'm using clarinet for today to demonstrate. This is our C scale. And of course we normally top out at high C, but we're going to kind of keep on going and roll up to high A on top. And then instead of stopping at C on the bottom, I'm going to keep on going and I'm going to roll all the way down to low F and then back to C again. So it gives the whole scale an upper extension, we call an upper extension, and a lower extension too. Okay? Now the secret to doing these when you first start them is to pick a tempo that works for you. You'll notice they're written in eighth notes, right? One beam, and they're counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the first thing you want to do is lock into your foot and get a steady tempo that you can keep even. Okay? For auditions and for everything that you play, you want your rhythmic accuracy to be really high. You want to play in time. Okay? So playing in time means being able to control the tempo and to be able to feel the beat and play right along with it. Now, if you want a suggestion for where to start, and what we've kind of been doing in lessons too, is to kind of start in and around the low 70 range. If you can get into there like around 72 or something like that, is about where you want to start. That's a pretty good starting point for most people for tempo. It works pretty well, okay? So I'm going to turn on my metronome for a second so we can hear our click. I'm going to start that up, and you'll hear that go. Okay, now if that's my tempo, if that's the click, how fast are eighth notes? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the first thing I want to do is feel that, okay? Now bring the instrument up, and I'm going to go ahead and jump right in on those notes. Using a lot of air and a good clear T tongue, a staccato tongue, should give you an even sound. And that's going to sound like this. Notice as I'm playing, I'm not staying right at the metronome. I'm not speeding up. I'm not slowing down. I'm keeping it right in time. Okay? Notice I'm touching the tip of the reed. I'm getting a good, clear staccato sound, and you can hear a lot of space between the notes. It's a good, clear, short note. Here it is again. Technique. Once you've got that, if you want to start gradually making it a little faster, that's a great idea, because then you can start to challenge yourself to go just a little bit quicker, one step at a time. Okay, well, how do I do that with the metronome? Well, I'm starting at 72. That's the click that you're hearing right now is 72. I want to maybe come up just a few clicks, maybe to 74, 76. Like, try to make the jumps kind of small. This way, as you jump a little bit, it doesn't feel so hard. It just feels like a little tiny bit harder, and it makes it kind of accessible. So I'm going to bump my metronome up just a little bit. I don't know, it's around like the early 80s. I'll go to like 82 or 86. So it's going to feel like a small jump. I'll add the metronome back in. And you feel that's just a little bit faster than where we left off, right? keeping my foot really steady with the metronome and keeping my foot nice and even, and that's what's making that all kind of really fit together and feel comfortable. Okay, so each time my foot comes down, foot and foot and foot and foot and foot, and not only am I seeing those downbeats, but I'm also feeling them in my foot or in my body. So foot and foot and foot keeps the whole thing in rhythm for me. Okay? All right, let's take another jump up. I'll do this quickly to save time. Here's kind of a bigger jump. This would be to about 129. Again, I'm staying right in time, and as you do this on your own, you want to kind of build it up gradually a little bit at a time, but that's keeping me in rhythm. Okay? And here's one last one. Let's try maybe like a little bit of a higher number. I'm thinking maybe like around, I don't know. Here's 144. 144. Okay? And then each tempo, of course, as you work on this, I hope this helps to get you started. As you work on this at each tempo, make sure you do it 3 or 4 times at that speed to make sure that it feels comfortable for you. And if it feels great, then go ahead and move it up. And if you do that a little piece at a time, you should feel your scales getting really strong, and you should also feel your technique getting really strong too. It should be getting smoother and smoother and cleaner every time you play it. Okay? All right, good. So that's a quick tutorial on straight up staccato. In the next tutorial, we'll talk a little bit about our green book stuff at the beginning, and we'll talk about some slur 2 tongue 2, and we'll do that next. Okay, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.